I'm going to do an external inspection on these Dynamic AutoWorks flowmax turbos. One thing that I noticed is this is actually smaller than this level near the wheel. So it's not cut out all the way, which is weird. I could probably fix that pretty easily though. These have a thrust bearing failure, so watch it move in and out. That's not good. If these were not upgraded with the thrust bearing and collar and spacer, then that's likely why that has happened. Otherwise, it could be an oil contamination issue. Here's the bearing that failed. The reason is because of how small those oil feed holes are. I'll let you compare them to the bearing we use. Looks like they had been rebuilt before. You can see how it's blasted. Some things I do like about these though is these turbine housings and manifolds being stainless steel. I think that's pretty good quality. They're less likely to crack like that. And this is recasted rather than using an OEM turbine housing because they really have like a bottleneck in this area where they can't flow as well as these turbine housings will. I can also check to make sure that the flap is still good. So let's pull that down. That looks fine. I mean, that looks like it's in about new condition. So another way I check it is I come across here and I try to move it side to side. It should move some, but it shouldn't be too crazy to the point where it won't seal right. Then we'll have to check to make sure that these are properly adjusted. So that's another thing I'll check. You can see back here it's been leaking some oil, most likely from that thrust bearing failure. That'll mess up the piston ring seals pretty quickly. I'll check the side to side though. It's not really going to matter. They need a rebuild anyway. The side to side is probably normal. All right, I'm going to take that off, check my adjustments. So this should not turn like that, but the reason is because this was not properly adjusted. I'll show you how it was adjusted here. This is me trying to pull it back as far as I can. It needs to be slightly at the middle, but I usually go like 2 turns past the center. So like this top right here should be slightly above is the way I always do it, because you don't really have to make them too crazy tight, but it does make sense to make them in the middle because it compensates when the bushing starts to wear out. Anyway, this is the adjustment he has on here. This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's not able to hold the flap closed, so your leak can boost out. They're not going to spool up right like that. Also, the flaps are going to rattle too. So this, you know, if you have a new set of these and they're adjusted like that, and it's not right, you need to loosen that up and wind that in. And it's possible if the adjustment's so far wrong that this is maxed in all the way, that maybe he couldn't adjust it more. I'll try to check that. So there's more adjustment out of it. We'll see how far we can go. All right, we're maxed out right there. Let's see if we can get the adjustment we needed. I mean, it's pretty close. At least it's a lot better. So technically it wouldn't adjust as much as we need to. But it would adjust enough to work though. The last longevity wise though, it might be better to have this flap move that way so you can get a little bit more adjustment on there.